Welcome. We are live. Another day in Bangkok, Thailand, that is. Welcome to those who come in and to those who are coming in. Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. Today is a day. And the reason it's a good day is because, well, actually, yesterday was a good day. Uh, Yesterday was a good day because we found out that my wife was approved for her visa to Ireland, which, our whole trip was kind of hinging on. So that's good. Good to know. So we will be heading into Dublin sometime in a little more than a week. We leave in a little more than a week. We leave in about 10 days. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get out of here. For some people, Thailand is paradise. And to that I say, phooey. It's paradise as a vacation holiday. If you live here, sorry, I don't agree. I disagree. And this is why I was like thinking to myself, hey there, Mr. Michael. Yeah, man, it's a good thing that she got it because, these tour companies, these airlines can be pretty difficult at times. And I was worried that because we bought this as a package, four people on the same through the same company, that maybe what they would say is, well, everything's linked together, and if she doesn't have the visa, then none of you can fly. And that's a long shot, but still, I didn't want. Who wants to go through all that? You want to have everything in place. So you can go, hey, here's this, here's that, let's go. It's simple, especially in this day and age. Now, this whole you're living the dream. Oh, it's such a dream. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up today, because I was thinking about I can't get this out of here. What is the deal? Let's see what a dream life. Can't even open a throat lozenge drop. I was talking to a pal today, and we were talking about the realities of living in a place as an expat. And, I've been here almost 30 years now. And while some people may go, oh, yeah, everything's fine, everything's great, I think that this country has a lot of shortcomings. But I'm willing to ignore most of them because they really don't affect me all that much. I've said it many times, I don't really like the whole permanent residency and citizenship thing here, the way that they work it. I don't like how they have it set up. I still think they are more difficult with foreigners than they need to be. And I don't mean the financial aspect. I just mean all the red tape, all the BS. And I've really never had a hard time getting any of my visas. In fact, the hardest time was probably my media visa when I first got it. And I questioned them. There was like a week left until my visa, my former visa, expired. And I was like, am I going to get this in time? And they're like, well, we don't know. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? Should I leave the country? Is that going to affect it? What's going on? And it was such a pain in the ass to get a straight answer. And I got pissed. And they didn't like it. I was like, what's going on? Why is this such a problem? I have all my paperwork in order. And, I really wasn't saying anything nasty. But I was daring to challenge why it was taking so long. which, if you know anything here, that's not a good thing to do. And what they did was they said, we don't appreciate you asking us why we weren't getting it done on time. You need to trust us. We'll get it done when we get it done. I said, okay, I didn't mean to challenge your authority. And they said, instead of giving you the 1 year, we're going to give you a 6-month and you'll have to come back. Then we'll give you the 1 year. I was like, okay. And I just remembered, no matter what, kiss their ass. Taught me a valuable lesson. Okay. Now that doesn't, that's not going to affect me long term or anything like that. But what really got me was, my buddy and I were talking about, think about the guys who are my age, 60, 70 years old. They're sitting on a bar stool in Pattaya or somewhere in Bangkok. And they've got some other guy, 60, 70 years old. Maybe he was a successful person, but now he's a drunk. Or he has absolutely no life other than going to the bar every day and talking to some girl that works in a bar. Yeah, there is no such thing as on time. It's their time. Thai time. But think about this. You're some guy, let's just say you were a regional manager for a place. You were pulling in, 80, 90 grand in the Midwest, and you managed to sock away $500,000, plus you had some stock options, and you got a pension. You're making 2 grand, 3 grand a month, plus Social Security. You can live very comfortably here. And then you just wonder, what am I going to do with myself? Now, from the beginning, aside from when I first came and I was living like a tourist, when I was running around, hitting the bars, getting shit-faced every night, which was many, many years ago now, I've always had something to do. I worked in boxing. I worked as a photojournalist. I just worked as a photographer. I've done YouTube. I've done nothing but writing. I've done ghost writing. So I've always had something to do. You always got to change up and find something new to keep you interested. But if you think about it, and what really struck me was my buddy said to me, can you imagine 2 guys sitting there in the bar, and, they got some cute little brown farm girl sitting on their laps, and they look at each other and they're going, man, this is the life. What a life we got. They're sitting there drinking beer all day. I'm sure there's a way we could figure it out, Michael, if you really want to send it to me. Send it to my email. It's at americaninbangkok@gmail.com. Hey, Johnny. But can you imagine? It's all right. Listen, you go out with your buddies once in a while. You have a beer. You have a couple of beers. Maybe one night, 2 nights in a row, you tie one on. Okay. It happens. We're all human. But imagine, you're some guy, you had a decent job. You're pulling in decent money. But all you have to live for is to go to those bars, or a bar, so your favorite bar, every night, and down a 6-pack or a 12-pack. And to you, living the life is sitting there on the bar stool that has your ass print in it, and you got some bar girl giving you a little massage, and you think that's the life. Now, I told the story before about the guy in Phuket, and at this point, the story's been a little convoluted because I don't remember everything. My memory's not that good, but I remember the gist of it. And the gist of it was, there was a guy, some like Scandinavian guy or something, and he was always going to Phuket. And he went to this one bar, and he had some chick from the bar. You know, he was madly in love with her, sending her money and, you know, doing the usual stupid shit. Like stupid foreigners do. Stupid men. It doesn't have to be a foreigner. It could be just any old man. Oh, let me send him a bundle of money because they'll love me. Sure they will. Men need to get with the program. And the guy got in like a motorcycle accident on the way in. You know, he's on a motorcycle. He's on a motorcycle. He gets in an accident. He goes, you know, he's got like his 2 bags or whatever. He goes into the hospital. He gets wrapped up. He's got a bandage around his head. He's all, you know, bloody. Where does he go first? Does he go to the hotel and say, I think I need to take a shower and get some rest and get clean? No, he goes straight to freaking bar. Now, I know alcohol, you know, alcohol is a drug. And I've drank more than my share of tequila and beer back in the day. I wouldn't ever say I was an alcoholic. But, you know, because I didn't ever have that craving. I didn't have that need. If anything, maybe I was a functioning alcoholic for a very short window. But more than likely, I was just partying my ass off. Bit too much. It wasn't just alcohol, you know. It was the coca, it was the ganja, it was you know, back in a long time ago, it was like LSD, you know, purple microdot and all that good shit, mushrooms, you know. I indulged. But if you think about it now, the booze, some guys can handle it, some gals can handle it, and some have a serious issue just drinking a couple of beers. And my buddy and I were talking about it, and we're like, God, can you imagine? You're sitting in a bar, and you look over at your buddy, wow, man, this is the life. You got some slut rubbing your back. She's only with you because you're paying her, which, okay, there's nothing wrong with that if you're on a holiday. But to live day in and day out and just get shit-faced every day, every night, and have some slut who doesn't even give 2 shits about you other than, do you still have money? How is that the life? Well, you know, the hangovers are a motherfucker now for me, and I don't get hungover. It's been years since I've had a hangover because I tend to drink tequila, and I usually drink pretty damn good tequila. Hey, thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You're making this a good month, man. Hey, listen, I've done a lot, and there's things I've done I won't say when it comes to drugs. I've never done the smack, you know. I've never done the China White or any of that, you know, or the Yaba. I have done like crystal meth when I was younger. I've done a little bit of that, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it very much. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody, because a lot of people can handle their booze. They don't have a problem. A lot of people can go out and party their ass off and have a fantastic time. And the next day, maybe they got a hangover and they go, you know, I'll never drink again. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. I can't tell you how many times I did coke when I was younger. And it's 5 o'clock in the morning and my heart's going like this, and I'm like, my eyes are wide open. And I'm down in beers like they were nothing. You know, case of beer. And I got to go to work in the morning. And I go to work and I'm on autopilot because I just don't want anybody looking at me. I'm like, I got to do this, I got to do that. Don't talk to me. What? Huh? Yeah, okay. So I can't imagine, like now, I cannot imagine being my age and being out of control on whether you're an alcoholic, or, I mean, Coke, forget about it because it's such a financial drain. I could have made a shitload of money from Coke when I was younger, and guess what? I didn't make shit because it went up my nose or up some slut's nose. You know, there are such a thing, or there is such a thing as Coke horse, Pepsi horse, whatever you want to call them. But, you know, I just was thinking about it. My buddy and I were like going, okay, first of all, let's look at Thailand. Now, I'm not just talking about Bangkok. We could talk about Pattaya. We could talk about a lot of different places. We can even talk about Chiang Mai. Now, Chiang Mai and Pattaya, I would say, are not nearly as filthy as some parts of Bangkok. However, they're still fucking filthy. All right, maybe they cleaned up the ocean over there in Pattaya, you know, and things are getting a little better. But guess what? It's still fucking filthy. The water's still filthy. It's disgusting. I don't want to go down there and you know, like be putting the water in my mouth and spitting it out at my girlfriend or my wife or whatever. You know, I don't want to do that shit. Who does? Who wants to put their mouth in the water there? I don't. It's bad enough I go up to my waist. I'm like, all right, you know, I can deal with this because fish shit in the water. So you got people shit, fish shit. It's all mixed together. Hopefully it's diluted enough where, you know, you don't get somebody's recent dump floating into your mouth. But let's face it, and it's not just here in Thailand, but I'm saying, when you think about it, in my little village, it's pretty damn clean for the most part until you get down to the canal. Now, you can't see what goes on in the canal from in my area. In some areas, you can definitely see what a shithole it is and how they need to clean it up, and it's absolutely disgusting. Exactly, Johnny. But my little village is pretty clean. The air is not clean. There's too much freaking noise pollution. Okay? Yeah, I've been getting messages from one place, and now they have edibles that are sugar-free. It's made me rethink that. But, you know, again, do they really do anything for me? No, they don't do anything positive for me. They really don't. And that's the thing about alcohol. You got a bunch of guys, they're 65, 75 years old, they're sitting in the bar with some broad. All right, listen, they come over, they're on a month holiday, they want to bang a bunch of chicks, they're old men, you know, and they're loving it. All right, great, I understand. But you want to live that way your whole life? Don't you have anything else to live for? Or do you just live for the little furry triangle? My Thailand dream is to be stream sniped by Pim. I don't know what your fascination with her is. Honestly, she was a nice girl. I mean, I just was like, hey, she was nice to me. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. You know? It makes no difference to me. You know? I do enjoy the village. Relatively good, clean, good air. You know, this is the thing. I start thinking about here and I go, wait a minute. Just the other day, I walk outside and some dog, I'm not bullshitting you, there was a dog that had a couple of puppies. It was a big fat, you know, I don't know what kind of dog it was, but it's some big fat tub of shit. with her little puppies running around, and my wife's like, oh, that dog's so cute. But he's the one who took a shit in front of our house. The dog took a massive shit in front of our house. So when you open the gate up, I'm like, ah! Big load in front of the door, in front of the gate. Nobody's picking that shit up. Nobody's gonna, oh, I forgot my dog took a shit in front of poor Scott's house. No, they don't care. So, of course, my wife goes out there, sprays it all down, gets it down the sewer or whatever. I'm like, thankfully. No fur, it doesn't matter. It does the job. I mean, that's the visual. That comes secondary. You know, I mean, if it's the what is it, the airport strip, if it's the little triangle, if it's the little heart, if there's nothing there, you know, if they got a big old cabbage down there, I'd rather not see it hairless. Sometimes some are better at being sans hair than others. Some look good and some don't. You know. Anyway, so you know, but most of the time we don't have dogs shitting everywhere all over the village. And well, we have noise. You know, I can deal with some of the noise, but the air pollution is a motherfucker. And then I go down the street, and you know, I walk sometimes. Now I'm walking more because you know I'm trying to get myself in as absolute best condition that I can get. I want to push myself. And in fact, I said this, I think, what was it, yesterday? Did I stream yesterday? Fuck, I don't even remember. Maybe I did. I don't know. Johnny. That's why they call it a gash. I think one of the best ways of phrasing it is piss flaps. That's a British thing, apparently. They come up with some good ones. Anyway, you know, I'm thinking about this, and my buddy's going, yeah, you think about it. Because he's in Vietnam right now. All right? And he's walking around, he's going, you know, everywhere I go, I just realized this place is a fucking shithole. Now he's in Saigon. And I agree. It's a fucking shithole. There are some places that are a little cleaner than others, but you know, you walk 50 more feet and there's garbage everywhere. There's some stinky something, you don't even know what it is. I mean, think about Klong Toi. When I went to Klong Toi, and you know, there's like acid in the canal and there's all kinds of toxic shit. You don't even know what it is. It's like you fall in and that's it. You're gonna evaporate. You're eviscerated. And I think to myself, is this the kind of fucking place I really want to live? Now, when you come to Thailand, you are blind. And that's why, you know, that's why there are people, and Jim's just one of the people. I know, you know, he's going to go through the whole process himself, and he's got his own way of thinking, just like everybody else. You know, to each his own. Everybody gets their own positivity from a place or negativity, and some people get the same thing, you know, and then eventually it just becomes the norm. This is what is shit here, this is what is not. But when you first come over, and like I'll just say about me, when I first came over, of course, I was like, when I first came over, I thought to myself, I got to get into a Muay Thai gym. I got into a Muay Thai gym, and immediately I said, this shit is nothing like back home. You know, I mean, it's like, I'm sitting there eating fried rice with guys. They don't speak a word of English. I don't speak a word of Thai. And all I know is every one of them, including the little 14-year-old kid, can kick the shit out of me. I couldn't even stand up to him in a fight. I'm like, this guy's going to beat the living piss out of me. How am I ever going to fight here? You know. Hey, take it easy, Michael. Thanks again, man. And, you know, the thing is that one of the first places I went was behind the Lumpini police station. Now, if you know where the Lumpini police station is, that area is not, you know, I mean, it's not a real bad area, but the Lumpini police area, it's in front of an area that is not very good, not very clean. And I used to go down that canal. I used to have a motorbike driver drive me all the way down this little canal and in a little back alley. What a shithole it was. It was just like Klong Toi. Yeah, please click the thumbs up. You know, I debated on whether I want, you know, I'm a little sick still. And I'm trying to get over it. And that's why, you know, I went to the gym in the morning and I went to the gym tonight because I want to sweat it out. And I think it's good for me. I'm not that I'm not really that sick. I just had a bit of a sore throat and a little bit of a, little bit of a cough. And I debated on whether I wanted to stream tonight. I thought, you know what? Just do it. Just like going to the gym now, it's a habit. It's a positive habit. I want positive habits. And then I thought, when I'm talking to my buddy, we're talking about how, yeah, it's positive and it does something good for you. Even if it's just, it helps your demeanor, it helps you be more calm, or you're having some fun in the day. Some people just like exercising because it's it's a way to hang out with people, you know. So I was standing online at the bank, and I had my tongue up this chick's ass. That was Andrew Dice Clay. I saw him actually in it used to be called it was before the Great Western Forum, whatever the hell it's called, where the Lakers played. I saw him and I saw Sam Kinison in Vegas. Dice was good, man. He was great back in the day. Now it's old news how he acts. It's not a big deal. I don't know if he can even get away with that shit now. But anyway, we're talking about it, and I'm thinking to myself, listen, I like going in the gym. You know why I like going in the gym? Yeah, I like working out. Yeah, I mean, there's guys who are really, really fit, and I'm like, that son of a bitch is massive. How the hell did he ever get in that kind of shape? And I'm thinking, hey, man, if he can do it, I can do it. Then there's, some chick, and you go, oh, my God, that shit should be illegal. What the hell is this chick doing, What's she on? What kind of food is she eating? I can school you. But the thing is that the Thais are a different breed who are in the gym. These are Thais who have a little bit of money. And it's been a while since I've surrounded myself with that. I'm not really that long, because, my wife works with a lot of people, and the people that she works with, they all make a good living, and, they're at a stage in their life where they're doing pretty well. But, I'm talking about doctors and lawyers and accountants and engineers and people like that. These are some of the older people that are at the gym. So I'm surrounding myself with different kinds of people, and it's enjoyable to be able to communicate with them, whether they're men or women. It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. And not to mention that, you get in shape and all that other kind of stuff. But it's a little bit of a different dynamic that's going on now in my life. But still, when you walk outside, there's fucking garbage everywhere. You got a beautiful gym, and then you go to the Mallon, the place is a fucking shithole. You go next door to the Mallon, you want to go get some coffee, it's right on top of a fucking canal. And I'm thinking, is this the kind of life? Is this what I want? How? And then I was saying, I've been watching this show on Netflix, and I watch it for the broads. I'll be honest. I like the chicks on the show. It's called Selling Sunset. And, they're a bunch of hoity-toity twats. I mean, why don't you bust a couple loads in them, and you wear them out, and, their makeup runs off, and, you start to, she's begging for it in the yin-yang, and, you get to know the real her. They're not as hoity-toity as, they want you to think. But I like the show. But, they're in places, these fucking places are pristine where they are. Now, I don't have that kind of Beverly Hills connection. I don't have that kind of money, So I can't really expect to live like that, right? But you don't have to live. Now, is it really the dream life? Like, how can you say, like, I never have thought, oh, it's a dream. Well, when I was working in boxing, I thought, this is my dream job. This is the greatest job I've ever had. I love it. Because I was doing something I really loved. Even with photojournalism, I was doing something I really loved. I really liked it. So those were two dream jobs. But as far as Thailand goes, yeah, okay, I can go to the ocean, I can go to some island, I can go, wow, what a fucking gorgeous place this is. This is awesome. But I don't live there. And not many people do live there. You want to go to Koh Samui? Okay, go live there. Yeah, maybe I could live there. Maybe I could live in a beautiful place in Phuket. I don't know. But for the most part, I walk outside, and it doesn't matter if it's here or if I'm down in the south or wherever it is. And, you know, the little piece of land that we got in the south is quite nice. And there's a lot of beautiful trees and a lot of vegetables and fruit, and it's a beautiful area. However, I guarantee you, if you walk a little ways, you're going to come across a bunch of trash sitting in the middle of the fucking road, you know, or whatever it is. It'll be a shithole. There's parts that are shitholes. And, you know, excuse me for saying this, but that's one reason why I don't want to live in the Philippines, ever. Because a lot of the Philippines is a fucking shithole. Can we just be honest for once? A lot of Bangkok is a shithole. Did you think I grew up saying, oh gosh, I'm going to have a monorail to go in. I can go get around town in a monorail. I'm so lucky. What the fuck, man? There's too many people. I think we need some kind of, I don't know, what is that movie, Logan's Run? When you get to a certain age, that's it, you're done. Maybe that's what will happen in the future. Because the way we're going now, there's too many fucking people already. And I don't see it here. And I'm thinking honestly, I'm thinking about Ecuador. And I'm thinking, Ecuador's probably just going to be like Thailand. It's just, they speak Spanish. Habla Español instead of, kungพูดภาษาไทยได้ไหม? That's what they're going to be doing. You know, my buddy's place is in near a beach in Iyampe. And apparently it's in a village. Now, I don't know how villagey it is. But I am tempering my expectations. It would be so great if it was a fantastic place and I just went, oh my God, this is so much better than Thailand. Now, there are some things that I do like about it already. The way that the government handles their interactions with foreigners and the way that things are done there. And, you know, there are some things that I already think are better. And there are some things that maybe are not better. But I'm looking forward to that trip just because, no problem, Michael. I'm looking forward to that trip because I want to see for myself and I want to get my, and I'll be honest, at this point, I'll tell you how I feel. You don't see garbage in all the freaking ponds and all the streams and all the canals and, you know, black soot coming out of the back of a fucking boat. You don't see that shit. Or I didn't. Where I grew up, you saw little sailboats and, you know, it was beautiful. And then I think to myself, well, you know why I left? Because I wanted to get away. I wanted to see the world. Well, I've seen the world. I've seen a lot of the world. I've seen as much as I need to see. I'm very comfortable in you know, I've been to like 50 countries, 55 countries, something like, maybe 60, I don't know. I'm comfortable. I don't need to go see the rest of the world. You know, I wanted to go to the Congo. If I go, I go. If I don't, oh well. Not a big deal. Because I'm getting to that age now where, like, I don't want to put up with any shit. I don't want to have to go, okay, I've got a ticket to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, and damn it, we'll be there by 9 at night. And then you're sitting there for 3 days waiting to be able to actually go because, well, that's the way things work here. They want a little greasing in order to get them to go, and the greasing might cost you $500, you know. And that's how it is. So there is something to be said in living in a first world country, even if it is the United States of America. And We can get my wife's permanent residency without even having to frickin' go to America. We can do it right from here. Now, if we want her to become a citizen, we need to go there. And you know what? At this point, fine, let's go. Let's get out of here. And then we'll go somewhere else. We'll find somewhere else. Or we'll come back. But I was thinking about it, and I thought, if I lived in some villages or some places in the world, you'd be walking around and you'd be stepping in dog shit all the time. I see this one guy online, I forget the guy's name, he's a young guy, and he's moved to Paris, apparently. I'm like, what the fuck would I want to live in Paris for? Oh, it's romantic. No, I don't give a fuck if it's romantic. What, you need to be romantic? You have to be romantic in a city? Why can't you be romantic anywhere? If you really want to do that, you want to turn on the romance? If you're a real charmer, you can do it anywhere. I know I can. I can turn on the charm anywhere. It doesn't matter where it is. I was in Guyana, I was charming people. So is it really necessary? No, it's not. But what I would like at this juncture is a modicum of the finer things, of comfort. And, let's face facts. In Southeast Asia, it's hot as fuck. Hey, man, keep preaching. I love it, because that is not how the world works. What's not how the world works? The preaching or the way that things, people think, I'm from America, the fucking greatest country in the world. But there's some great things about America, for sure. And there's some fucking absolute nonsense that goes on there. And I've already talked about it a million times. I don't understand for the life of me how in the fuck are some of these topics popping up in America where people are supposed to be semi-intelligent. I'm not talking about the hillbillies out in the Ozarks. I'm only saying that because I've been watching that show, and I binge watched every season of it. I already watched like the first 2 seasons, and then it took them so long to come out with the 3rd season, I forgot the whole thing, and I didn't want to watch it again. Then finally I was like, I'll watch it. So I've been watching it. There's a lot of great things about America. And I see all this stuff, and now what I see is about men not being men, and that just bugs me. It just bugs the shit out of me. Why do Thai women like some foreign men? Is it because they have money? The money is not everything. And the Thais are smart enough to know that. But I think that in some instances, they appreciate the fact that Western men tend to be a certain way versus Thai men. I look at, if my wife wants to screw around on me, it will bother me. But I'd be like, okay, I hope you're happy. It sucks. Oh my God, I've been married 30 years and she, little did I know for the last 15 she's been doing this and that. I would be like, you know what, fuck, I'm out of here. Goodbye. You got to man up and go, hey, move on. And then I do my thing, whichever that would be. And to be completely honest, I'm not the same guy that I was when I was 21. When I was 20 years old, 25 years old, I was banging everything that moved. And I got plenty of tail when I was a younger guy. I'm not just saying that. I wasn't always the brightest, but I knew, I was you could call me the George Costanza. I had my little way of getting in. I got in somehow. And once I got it in, I stayed in. That was it. I made sure, you give them a good schlupping. And then, for whatever reason, they like you and they don't want to get rid of you. You form that little bond, and then that's it. You got them for as long as you want them. Yeah, you gotta, and this is the thing, and I don't know that, I think that maybe now because Thai women's attitudes, I'm just making an example, Michael. Uh, Thai women's attitudes have been changing in the past decade, 2, 3 decades. They've been changing. That's just a fact. So I don't know that the men's attitudes have been changing. I don't really know because I'm not friends with enough Thai men now. Most of my Thai friends who are male, I don't really talk to them that often anymore. Excuse me. Everything they think things come natural. I have always been super smart and hard work. Well, I haven't always been super smart. I can say that. I haven't always been super smart. No, and Johnny, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. I was talking about that there it was my yoga instructor, and she is a few years younger than me, but she's a little bit older. Very nice lady, in great shape. I mean, she knows her yoga. And she was walking, I opened the door for her, and she's like, "Oh, thank you." And I was like, "I'm just wondering, how long's it been since somebody opened the door for you?" And she goes, like, never. Because Thai men don't do it. Now, I did it just because it's out of habit. As a young man, I would open it. I don't care. I'll open it up. Doesn't mean I'm going to kiss their ass and throw them my fucking bank book. Although, if I did, I'd throw them the one that had like 3 baht in it. They wouldn't get the golden bank book. Well, I used to use tequila for that, Johnny. Why do you think I like tequila so much? I formed a relationship with tequila. Tequila back in the States for me was known as panty droppers. Shall we have a couple of shots of the panty droppers? You know, and you loosen them up a little, and then in more ways than one, and then that's it. But honestly, nowadays, if I was a single guy, I don't think I could do the things that I was doing when I first came here. I wouldn't be running around from bar to bar and oh, let me get this chick, man. Wow, that one. Hey, man, remember that one over there at the G spot? Hey, let's go to Lollipop. There was a hottie over there. Let me see if I can get her to go. I wouldn't be doing any of that bullshit. Why? First of all, I don't need to. I speak a language, and I know the culture a little bit. I wouldn't need to. That's why I got my wife. I didn't need to. And the one thing is, if you land yourself a good Thai woman, then you should keep her. Because it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit. You have a woman in your life, you respect her, you have fun with her, you still like sleeping with her. I mean, like, the activity, not the sleeping part, or maybe you like the sleeping as well. But the activity when you're not sleeping and you're in the bed, you still like everything. Well, then, what's the problem? There's how many millions of chicks in the world? What are you going to do? Go through every single one of them? That's what you think you're going to do? I knew this guy who, he told me, my goal is to spread my seed into as many women as possible. I want to knock up as many chicks as possible. I'm like, why the fuck do you want to do that? Are you going to be responsible for the kids? Oh, no, man. Oh, no. If they let me put it in without a condom and I blow my load in them, then it's on them. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm a prude or I'm ultra conservative. I don't quite look at it that way. I don't look at it like there's a vagina, I've got to come in it. There's a little furry triangle, I need to have my way with it. No, I don't look at it that way. I mean, maybe when I was young, because, you know, when you're young, you're running around and the wind blows and all of a sudden you got a hard on. When you're older, you're like, all right, you know, you're like the bull. You know the story of the old bull and the young bull? And they're, you know, they're at the top of the hill, and the young bull says, look down there. You know, look at them cows down there. Let's go run down there and fuck them. Or fuck one of them. And the old bull says, how about we walk down there and fuck them all? Something to that effect. The world is a market, Johnny. You know, all you have to do is get over your fear of talking to a woman or approaching a woman. That's all you have to do. The rest will fall in place. And you're going to fail. You're going to fail miserably. You're going to get shot down and shot down and shot down and shot down. And you know what? All you got to do is go, oh, well, I took my shot. You can't take it personally. You know. But getting back to the whole gist of this conversation. Would I move to Thailand now? At my age, knowing what I know now, and let's say I had my Social Security and I had, you know, some other money that I have coming in and everything is copacetic. Let's say I've got $2,500 a month. Would I move here now? Honestly, I don't think so. There's a lot of good here. Maybe I would live here part-time. But I don't think I would live here full-time. Okay, the political problems, the political instability has not really been a problem for the last decade. That's not to say it won't be a problem in the future. I don't particularly like the attitude of the government towards foreigners. It's always blame first, then backtrack and apologize, or promise shit and then never come up with it, or flip-flop every other day. That's not what I would call a positive attribute of the Thai government. Those things are not positive attributes. The fact that there is so much garbage, so much trash, so much pollution, not just on the ground, but in the air. Not to mention in coffee shops where you can't even hear yourself fucking think. Those things alone would make me look elsewhere. You know, I don't know where. I don't know if there is a perfect place. I do know that I've been in places and I really like them. I've already got limited on this stream. Imagine that. Probably too many F-bombs. But you know, I went to Cairns. I had no problems with the French. Aside from the one taxi driver who was pissed off because I was like 2 minutes late. Which I was like, oh well, fuck off if you don't like it, I'll call another taxi. Other than that, I had a great time. I was there for about 3 weeks. I love France. Now, would I want to live there? I don't know. Amsterdam. I love Amsterdam. Would I want to live there? I don't know. You have to minimize the negatives and, you know, what is it? Accent to positives and whatever the other, I forget the name of that song. You gotta accent the positives, downplay the negatives or something like that. You can do that. But, you know, it takes a little bit of research. You got to do your research. And let's face it, most guys are fucking lazy. They just want to party. Oh, I'm going to go to Thailand, man. Oh, man, you know. Oh, I plan on it, Michael. I'll be streaming, you know, for the next week. And, I don't know if I'll be able to stream from Ireland, but I would like to. I think the time is right. I can hit like a morning in the US and it'll be afternoon, and I forget how it works, in Ireland or something like that. I don't know. I'll be able to figure it out. It's a matter of the quality of the internet, and I am going to get some roaming from AIS here, but we'll see. In Ecuador, I don't think I'll have any problem. I know I'll be able to stream because I'm going to be staying in one place for a while. Portugal, probably the same thing. Don't want to really stream from Abu Dhabi. Maybe from Ireland, and probably from Amsterdam as well, I will. So, dealing with women costs money and time. Well, just remember one thing. Time is something that is invaluable. And this is why I'll tell you what I do a lot of times. When I go to the grocery and I have a small bag, or I go to the gym and I have a small bag and I gotta, like with some food in it or something. Or I come back and I'm at, say, Happy Land. Now, I can take a Songtao, it's 8 baht. Fuck all, right? It's like 25 cents US. Or I can take a motorbike, it's 20 baht. Which is what? It's about 60 cents US. So I come out of whatever I'm doing. I go to, maybe I go to 7-Eleven, I get a couple boiled eggs or protein drink or something to drink or whatever it is. I walk out. The Songtao is there. I sit there. Now I know if there's nobody on the Songtao, it's going to be another 15, 20 minutes before the Songtao takes off. Before the pandemic, it used to run like every 5 or 10 minutes. Now it's like every 20 to 30 minutes. So, I could sit there for 20 minutes and pay 8 baht. Or I can walk 30 seconds from the Songtao, jump on a motorbike, and pay 60 cents instead of paying 25 cents, and I'm home in 3 minutes. Instead of waiting for 20 minutes and then taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get home. So what's the better deal? To me, sometimes it's like, you know what? If I'm not in a hurry and I just go, I'm chill. I want to listen to some music. I don't really care. I get on the Songtao and I wait. It's hot. If I'm in a hurry or if I just don't feel like waiting around, I'm like, fuck this, man. I need my time. I value the time more than the extra 35, 40 cents. Walking is an option, although it'll take a half an hour and it's hot as shit. Actually, right before the stream started, it was 93 degrees. So 8 o'clock at night, 93 degrees. There's a high of 101 today, low of 83. The feel-like temperature, the heat index, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 56% humidity, 96 on the air quality index, which is moderate, but it's almost to the point where it's unhealthy for sensitive individuals. Clear skies. The baht 34.32 to the dollar. Now next weekend, I'm going to be streaming from, I believe I'll be streaming from a particular coffee shop that's open later. I just have to make sure that it's not like a coffee shop that turns into a 100% bar after, say, 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that. I don't think it does. I think it's a separate coffee shop, then there's a bar, and so maybe it'd be good. I think that's what I'm going to do next Saturday or Sunday. Saturday night, probably. Saturday night, next Saturday night is the uh, Blackpink concert. If you don't know who Blackpink is, just look them up. If you know anything about Southeast Asia, you should know about Blackpink. I mean, I'm not into the music or anything, but you know, Thai people love Blackpink, and a lot of other people like Blackpink, and especially La Lisa. Well, my wife is going to that concert with her girlfriend because you wouldn't get. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't go to that kind of concert, that kind of music. I don't like it. So she's gonna do her thing, and maybe I'll go out and go to this coffee shop at night and stream from there. Then the next day, her brother is coming into town because her brother is taking care of Sid the whole time that we're away. So we're not going to put Sid in a little kitty cat hotel, which makes me happy. So he'll be watching Sid the whole time. Should be in good hands. And then the day after that, or 2 days after that, we're leaving. And we go to Sawatdee. And then we go. We're on our way. Where's our first stop? Oh, first stop is Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi goes to Ireland. And then we spend from early in the morning till late at night in Ireland. And then we get to Lisbon and the trip really begins. Because we'll be hanging out there. And I want to go to... I was given a recommendation to go to the northern part of Portugal as opposed to the southern part because that's more of the real Portugal, not the touristy Portugal. I want to check it out. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But, you know, I already know that in certain places in Florida, you go to certain places in Florida, you could call it paradise there too. You go to some of the Florida Keys, they're fucking beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Great fish, great eating, great restaurants. Bit pricey, you know. It's going to cost you. You know, it might be a bit too expensive for me and for the wife and I. But... you know, beautiful place. There's beautiful places in Florida. All over Florida, there's some beautiful places. So, you know, maybe I take it for granted after all these years, but I've been here all these years. I know what it's like. And it's great in some ways, and it's provided me a lot of adventure here. It's shown me things that I would have never seen had I stayed back in the States, and that I would have never learned about. I would have never got in touch with people from all walks of life like I have because I have been living here. Nor would I have traveled all over, you know, this region. So I appreciate everything that it has to offer. But I think that, you know, like, at least, in the very least, I'm looking forward to getting the fuck out of here. And one of the reasons is because, aside from Hong Kong, Vietnam, I haven't been out of Southeast Asia in a long time. You know, or Asia. Bangladesh, Nepal, you know, I mean, it's been years since I've been in the West. I haven't been home in 7 years. And my mother came, I don't know how many years, 5 years ago or something like that. So, you know, it's like, when my mother's around, I start remembering what I used to be like when I was young. You know, it keeps me grounded. I know where I came from. I know what I am, what I was, what I can be. It puts it all in perspective when you're around your parents. For me, it does. And when my mother comes, you know, my mother's a pretty strong person, strong-willed person, strong woman. And she didn't let me get away with shit, you know, really. And I can appreciate that. So I'm looking forward for that and to see my family. I'm looking forward to that and and seeing them, but I'm also looking forward to the travel and to being in the West and being in South America because it's quite a bit different, um, than Southeast Asia. Yeah, when you're young, you're like, oh God, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Now I'm like, what do I really want to do? I've whittled it down. I know what I don't want to do. I know that, I got less time in front of me than behind me. The chances are pretty good of that. Unless I live to be 120 something. Which, who knows, maybe I could. But when when you're young, you're thinking about like all the things you want to do. I've done a lot of the things that I want to do. I don't have all that much left that I really want to do. You know, I've driven nice cars. I've driven pieces of shit. And I wouldn't mind driving like a Ferrari around a track, something like that. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. But, those are little things. I don't judge myself on whether or not I can do that, But I would say, if you're really thinking, like if somebody really wants to think about living here, think about what's your future going to be like. Because all these guys now, I hear all these guys, fuck, I don't want to get married. I don't need no fucking chick. I don't need no wife. I don't want to dad. I don't want to tie the knot. And listen, I understand why you don't want to tie the knot in America because the courts are definitely against you. Chances are you're going to get an anal swab. Involuntary anal swab. And they're going to take a lot more from you than you probably want to give. But if you're in Asia or South America or wherever the fuck you go, I think if you think about what are you going to do? And I heard some chick saying it today on some little video that I saw. She was like, listen, I don't want to be a feminist because, hey, Chris, how you doing? I don't want to be a feminist because I don't want to end up alone when I'm 60 or 70 years old. I don't want to be going home every night and I come home to an empty apartment. I want to have a man who loves me, who cares about me. I'm in a relationship. We got kids. And the reason I was talking about money before is because I'm sure in the next, if I live another 5-10 years, I will probably see grandkids. I'm looking forward to that, I don't know why. Maybe just because it's a progression of life, which some people never think about. And I saw something else, I think it was Jordan Peterson, who said, if you don't have kids, you don't really truly grow up. Because you are always thinking of yourself, as opposed to you need to think about somebody besides yourself. And I can tell you, and I used to hear it, and I've heard it from many people, where some people will go, I've given every last cent to my kids to make sure they were well taken care of. And it was worth it. And I know I have. There's times I don't have much cash in my pocket at all because my kids have gotten it for one reason or another. And I know my wife is the same way. And it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Because I know that they appreciate it, So when I think about living the dream, do I need to be sitting next to some dude who maybe I don't even know him that well? Maybe he's a drinking buddy. And I got some nasty slut rubbing her freaking triangle up against me. And she's telling me how much she loved me long time. And my buddy's going, dude, we got it made, man. This is where it's at. I don't know. Maybe I aspire to more than that. And, it's like anybody can bang some whore. No big deal. And maybe she's a great lady. Been known to happen. Been known to happen where you're with somebody that, you like them and it's not that good. But then again, maybe it's really good and, that makes it even better. Anybody can do this shit. Do it on your holiday. But don't do it when you're moving over here because you get caught in that trap. And that's why you see all these guys, Germans, Brits, Americans, Aussies, wherever the fuck they're from. That fucking chair on that little beer bar, whether it's in Pattaya or Bangkok or Chiang Mai, wherever it is, Phuket, has their ass print etched into it. Because they're there every night because they have no other life. And I can tell you, I know that when I started really getting into the scene here, and I was like, man, I've been drinking too much. And I just kind of cut off the drinking. And I would go in and drink a Red Bull. Or I would go, oh, can I have a water? Or can I have a Pepsi? Or something like that. And I go, what the fuck am I here for if I'm going to drink a Pepsi? Or drink a water? Why am I paying this much, $3 for a water? Well, obviously it's to look at a triangular shape. And cones. If you never have more than one child, you will never learn to work. Who did it? But then after that, you're like, well, they're everywhere. They're walking down the street. You can look at that whenever you want. Well, you're living the dream now. You see, I kind of look at it from a longer term perspective. When you're... Now, are you married? Oh, Michael, come on, please. Could I do it right this second? No. But if you got me like when I hadn't done a full fucking workout and done a yoga class, I could do it. Believe me. I've already done it. I've done it online. And I could do it now. And if I couldn't do it, I'd come damn close and I'd be able to do it within a week or two. You might be surprised. You might be surprised, but I'm not your average 60-year-old guy. Honestly. Big fight tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow morning in Thailand, by the way. I think it's Devin Haney against, Vasily Lomachenko. Good fight. But I'm going to go with... I'm not going to go with Lomachenko just because I think he's a little long in the tooth. Even though he's extremely talented and skilled and, So, I mean, this is a long-term girlfriend. Because I know plenty of guys who have had girlfriends that, their girlfriend's been with them for 15, 20 years. And I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, the only thing is I don't want to be some guy who's 75 years old. I don't want to be 70, 75 years old and come home every night and I'm alone. And I go, oh, now what am I going to do? Oh, I guess I'll turn on the TV. Oh, am I going to get laid? When's the last time I got laid? I guess I'm going to have to call up, so-and-so from the Love Shack to get her down here, So what are you here for? Who are you speaking to? Me? My girl is from Cali, Colombia. Colombians are pretty smoking. I'd have to get to know that culture a little bit more before I ever was to indulge in that arena. I mean, I've been there for a couple of weeks and I know a little bit about what it's like. And yeah, I would like to. I like to be able to be smart enough to be able to decipher things pretty easily, or at least have some kind of intelligence other than just I'm a man, she's a woman. The cultural aspect is something, if you learn a bit about it, it does help. Lots of parts that come together to create one whole. Sounds a bit fruity, but yeah. Well, I've told the story before. When I met my wife, I had a couple girls. I had a couple. I was working on a couple. What the hell is a baby monster concert? What the Johnny, you are losing me, man. Baby monster. What the fuck is baby? Oh my god. Baby monster. What in the I've never heard of baby monster. For a long time, my wife told me, "Don't you dare say anything bad about Blackpink." I go, "I got nothing bad to say about them, other than I don't like their music." Yeah, don't even say that. And I'm like, "Listen, fuck that. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want. I don't like that little la 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 dee dee dee, that little dancey shit. I don't like that shit. I like real music. I don't like that fucking synthesizer techno kind of bullshit." Baby Monster, also known as Baemon, is an upcoming South Korean girl group formed by YG Entertainment, consisting of 7 members: Ruka, Farita, Asa, Ahyen, Haram, Rora, and Chiquita. Jesus Christ. I'm not your average 45-year-old. Listen, I saw this guy on my Instagram doing kettlebells. And I don't, for me, I don't really need to lift all that much. I mean, I'm already muscular. I've been muscular even when I was fat, I was muscular. But I was thinking about maybe just going at it with the kettlebells for a while instead of like using machines and a bunch of other stuff, free weights and all that kind of stuff. I may start that when I come back. I don't know. I only got so much time. Kettlebells. I like the cable extensions. You can use the cable extension. You grab the cable. You put a good amount of weight on it, and you punch, and then you turn around and you do it where you're pulling, so that you're getting a pulling and a pushing. And then you do it where you're doing an uppercut. You do it where you're doing a hook, and then you do it where you're going like straight up. That itself is a full shoulder and arm workout. I just don't have the endurance. I mean, I'm already doing like, an hour and a half of lifting, and then I'll go and do an hour-long yoga class. That's 2.5 hours, man. Sometimes I'll do an hour and a half or 2 hours of lifting, like today, and then I go and I didn't want to do the yoga class, and then I just thought, I better do it. I'm just going to do it. I didn't do yoga yesterday. I'll do it today. Because I'm really into it. I think it's a fucking fantastic way of exercising. And it's underrated, and most guys think of it as, not masculine. Yeah, I mean, I know my body pretty well. I know, like today I was doing wrist curls. And I've started adding weight on the wrist curls because, my forearms are getting stronger. I did like 2 sets, and on the 3rd set I was like, oh man, my freaking wrists are killing me. And I thought, all right, let me just see, can I do, I'm not going to do 5 sets, I'm going to do 3 sets today. And so that's what I did, you know. Fred, if you think Cambodia is that much better, go for it. I honestly think the only reason Cambodia is any better is, first, they're on the dollar. Second, because they allow you to stay and it's easier to stay there. And that's it. You're welcome. I do arm exercises with a few Leos. I gotta say, give a big shout out to Mr. Dre. Dre hasn't been in the streams lately. He's a busy man, but he did message me a couple times, so I gotta give a big shout out to Dre. Listen, I've been to Cambodia many, many times, and although it's been a few years since I've been there, I've been there many times, like 50 times, 60 times. I've stayed there a month at a time, a couple weeks at a time, and yeah, I think you're going to be, you're jumping from one frying pan to the next. My buddy has been here for almost 30 years, and he moved there about a year ago, and he likes it. But my buddy is single. He is able to work from anywhere in the world. He doesn't give a shit about women. You know, I mean, of course he cares. And but he doesn't make them a priority, nor does he ever even think about making them a priority. Look into adding some TRT, a couple of millimeters of testosterone, which I've been doing that for 10 years, dude. Where have you been? Dude, I've been on the testosterone for about 11 years now. 10 years. Thank you, Michael. Once again, thank you very much. You've made my stream a success financially. Thank you. I'm happy when I start making a little bit of money, it makes it worthwhile. All that much more worthwhile for me. Because it all goes towards travel, streaming, everything else, buying all the shit when I go out, the freaking espressos and the motorbikes and the traveling around. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Joe. Every little bit does help. So yes, I appreciate it. And to think I was considering not streaming tonight. Every time I think I'm not going to stream and then I stream, I have a good stream. Listen, the testosterone does help. What I will say about testosterone, and for anybody who knows and who's heard me before talk about it, I used to do 250 milligrams, which is one vial, every 3 weeks, right? So that's about 83.33 milligrams per week. However, I've been doing a lot of studying, and I've talked to the doctor, and you can, if you inject more often, and you inject around that much, maybe a little bit more to make it an even, say 300 or whatever, and you inject every 5 or 6 days as opposed to every 3 weeks, you get a more stable distribution of the testosterone. So, I think that, and I've been doing that for about 2 years, and I think that that's really, that's a game changer. If you are willing to get the injections more frequently, I think it increases the. I think it really, it helps. You go 3 weeks, and what I used to do is, like, sometimes I'd come in a day early, sometimes I'd come in 3 days late, and then it's like the shit. It has like a what do they call it? Like a half-life. I think it's like 5 days. So you never really get, if you're doing it every 3 weeks, you know. Cambodia can't compare to Thailand. You should spend some time in both countries before deciding. It's really a big difference. I thought that you were going to go to Philippines, Fred. And everybody was going to Vietnam, and you know what? I wouldn't fucking... Now, I mean, I went to Vietnam the first time. I thought, wow, what a great place. If I was going to live in one of the two places, Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh, I'd live in Hanoi. Because it's, even though it's very busy, you can get out from the main area of the city pretty easily. And it's a nice area, and it's cooler, and blah, blah, blah. But when I went to Quy Nhon and, what was the other place I went to? Hue. I liked Quy Nhon a lot. It was great. Great town. Nice people. Nowhere near as busy. And, you know, I can't remember what the guy's name was that I met. But I met one guy, and we were talking about it. And he was gonna get a place. I can't remember where it was, Nha Trang or the Lot or somewhere. He was gonna go get a place, and he said they're trying to rip me off. He said I know I can get a really nice place for like $350 a month, and now they're charging me. They want to charge me a lot more. And he's like, fuck them. I just won't do it. You know. And I don't know what happened, but I don't think he got a place there. Because he just said, too bad, you know. And now, because of the way that the visas are set up and all that other kind of shit, why do you want to live there, you know? And as far as Cambodia goes, all right, I get it. It's a very different culture. Not only is it very different than, say, American culture, it is very different to Thai culture. You know, it's much, much different. And quite frankly, Fred, from what if you're still listening, from what I've gathered and what I've learned from you and your comments, you get aggravated pretty easily and you don't want to put up with any shit, which I understand. And well, I will say that the Cambodians never really struck me as having the attitude that some Thais would have about how you're kind of lucky to be here and all these other kind of things. That hasn't happened. I still think that Thailand has so much more to offer, and that, you know, if you don't like it where you are, I don't know what your problem is with Thailand. Usually the problem stems from you don't want to pay, or you think you're paying too much. For me, the problem is I don't like the mentality of the government towards somebody like me who's been married with children. I've raised 2 kids. And becoming a permanent resident is hard enough, if not damn near impossible. And becoming a citizen, forget about it. And, you know, my attitude is like, I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm so fortunate. It needs to be a two-way street. If you're going to allow somebody to live in your country, you can't then go, you're so lucky to be here. I've never felt that way. Yes, we are a guest here. And yes, in one sense, you are lucky. However, are they not lucky that I paid for my kids to go to university? I paid for their education all the way through school. I paid for numerous apartments at different, price ranges. I've spent literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of baht on food. Are they not fortunate that I have brought my money from outside of the country to here? So, there are some trade-offs. And I don't ask them to kiss my ass, but I don't want to kiss their ass either. I think any country can shut you down and say, you can't stay here. Look at China as a perfect example. Too bad Bruce is in here, and then there's the other guys. What's the guy's, Serpent ZA, and I forget the other guy's name that is his buddy, and they both left China. They're like, fuck it, we're out of here. This shit's too crazy. The government, they're a bunch of fucking assholes. They treat us like shit. We're out of here. Comes down to the southeast. Everyone wants to do something. You know. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're an outsider, you're always going to be an outsider. You may be treated better by some governments than some people, and to me, most of the time, the people treat me pretty well. I'll tell you something. I was in a coffee shop today near where I work out. I go there once in a while. And there's an older woman and a younger girl. The younger girl is nice and, you know, always friendly. And the older woman, you know, it's her place and she's always friendly as well. They're always very nice. But we started talking about something, I don't even remember what it was. And the next thing I know, I hear this farang da 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 and farang da 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 and farang da. And I was like, hey. Why I gotta be the farang? You know? Why can't I be kontang cha? No, I don't really care. I didn't get irritated by it. You're back. Didn't irritate me. But, you know, makes me think. If these people who see me on a fairly regular basis, they see me as an outsider. You're always going to be the outsider. It doesn't matter where you are. I don't care if you go to the Philippines, if you go, oh, they treat me better in Cambodia. No, they don't. You're the barang. You're not a farang, you're a batrang. Go to Myanmar, you're the Nangin Chala. Go to Indonesia, you're the Bule. Go to China, you're the Guaylo, or Hong Kong, I don't know which one it is. Is that, or is that Japanese? What's the Guaylo? I think Guaylo is Chinese, but Japanese has one too. Gaijin. Yeah, Gaijin. So, you're always going to be the outsider. I don't care what anybody says. It's only America that says everybody has to assimilate. You have to assimilate. Oh, we have to diversify. Diversification. Diversity. Yeah, okay. If that's what people want. Some people don't want it. Frankly, I don't give a shit. You don't need to force me to be with white people. If I want to be with Thai people, if I want to be with Chinese people, Japanese, I will. You don't need to force it. You don't need to say 20% have to be this, 20% have to be that, 15% have to be this. You don't have to do that shit. And frankly, I don't give a shit if I'm a farang. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I know I am different. And that's fine. I'm happy to be different. I'm happy I am the white-skinned devil or the white-skinned person from outside of the country. Farang set, I'm the French guy, whatever it, you know, however you want to translate it. I'm happy to be that. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what does it matter? Because you're living your dream life, baby. What would that matter if it really was your dream life? The whole thing about this whole, you know, you're living the dream and all that. Listen, people can live the dream with very little money, with very, very little going for them. You know, maybe they have a couple of close friends or, you know, a lovely wife and a lovely family. Or maybe they just have a wife or they have a girlfriend, whatever it might be. And for them, that's all that is required. But for many others, they don't have that. So some of them, this is what my point was, they end up in the bar. you know, with they go at happy hour to get that beer sing for 50 baht. And by the time they've exhausted their 500 baht they had in their pocket, they've got that spare 1,000 or whatever hidden away. And, they use that to get the girl. And that is their life. Is that the real dream life that people aspire to? I think not. I hope you find yourself lost in paradise, baby. Found in paradise. I'm found in paradise. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I've been a little under the weather. The wife's a little under the weather. Alex is sick. And Nicholas was going to come over day after tomorrow. Now he's not coming because we don't want him to get sick. The only thing I got is a stuffy nose, and my sore throat's almost gone. It ain't COVID, so that's good. But I forget why she went out she went to Bang Naf or something. I forget what the hell it was for. That tells you how good my memory is. I can't even remember what the hell she left for. Oh, she went to go get some bags for the kids. Backpacks, because we're all taking backpacks on the plane. No carry-on luggage for us. We're all going with one bag, and that's it. Did you get the bags? Huh? She did? Can I see one? After what? Why? Well, maybe after you're done. In my experience, the people that have a job or some sort of activity that keeps them busy are happy. Exactly. The people that sit in the bar and gossip and hang out with only Farang are not. Oh, that's nice. Huh? Wow. What's it? Oh, you got a little secret. It goes all the way around, so it can be like this. It's like a duffel bag. Oh.
What's that look like?
Yeah, it's nice. What color is Nikki's? Did your mother get one?
I'm going to be sharing this one with Nikki.
You're sharing it with him? What, you guys are only bringing one bag?
Well, there's 3 bags.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're not sharing it with him. You and Nikki get a bag each, and your mother gets one. I already have a bag. I got too many bags already. Yeah, I agree, Chris. And if you think about it, that's how it is the world over. If guys retire back in the States and they have nothing to live for, they have no hobbies. I know people, they read the news every morning online. They have their own little, they have a routine. Why do you think I go to coffee shops all the time? It's evolved into a routine. I go and do that, then I run some errands, then maybe I go to the grocery, then I come home, then I do a little work, then I do this, I have a routine. And sometimes that routine changes, sometimes you add things, sometimes you subtract things, but I think it's the guys who have they have absolutely no routine at all, other than, think I'll go down to the bar. And I'm sure in Australia they have, places like that in the outback where the guys are like, they just want some socialization, and maybe they're out in the middle of nowhere, so they're like, oh, well, let's go over to the canteen. And, they make their way over, and that's where everybody goes from the area. And that's what they do all the time. But, in Thailand, it's not the outback. In most places, it's not the outback. It's modern enough to where you can do pretty much whatever you want. If you remember in Chiang Mai, one of the places that I went to was like a CrossFit gym. and all kinds of foreigners went there, and they were powerlifting, they were bodybuilding, lifting for bodybuilding, they were doing all kinds of endurance training. And I'm like, you know what? This gives them something to do for whatever reason. Maybe they're a runner. I'm going to go to this CrossFit gym because I can get better at it. And then they're running, so that takes up a lot of their time. And just, Chris, you probably know this. If you're going to the gym on a regular basis, it takes up time. It takes up hours of time, and then the recovery time can take hours. So, by the time you go there, come back, take a shower, relax, cool down, rest up, it might be 4 or 5 hours, So, and fishing also, that's another one. It's another. For some people it's surfing, whatever it might be. I think the key is to be busy though, because it keeps your mind sharp. That's another thing. Do you do those? What are those little little crossword puzzles and was it Sudoku or something like that? You do all these little kind of things. It keeps your mind sharp. But if you just go, okay, that's it. I'm done now. I can live the dream and go into that, I don't know, whatever, mama's beer bar, and you can go there every day, and she's got the seats saved for you, and you can go there and have 10 beers every night, and you think that's life. Well, whatever, Yes, if you ever watched that, what is that, the Grim, the one about the Russian mafia where the guy gives you the little pointers and stuff. What is that? I had one today. Well, I thought they were going to go bad. I didn't want them to go bad. Oh, God. Everything is good for you. That's why I love it. Yes, you need a hobby or something, an interest, and home life gives one. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Otherwise, you'd be like, I can do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. And then you start doing that. Next thing you know, you're like, I don't even know where I am. Well, I've been there before. I know what that's like. You wake up and you're going, oh, what happened? You got fucking 10,000 baht in your pocket. And you wake up and you go, what's this? I got 57 baht. What happened? I don't remember last night. That's not a positive hobby. I mean, even model cars, model airplanes, model ships, at least it keeps you sharp. You're doing something, Model airplanes, crashing drones, with 80 years of service. So no more Saudi Arabia. I don't know, man. The thought of me living in Saudi Arabia doesn't thrill me. Even for the money. Anyway, I'm getting knackered. I gotta be up bright and early tomorrow for another session at the gym. I have the opportunity for 80 years of service. It sucks. Oh, Saudi sucks. One of my customers, she's 94 and still goes to casinos and gambles, plus smokes a pack of cigarettes a day. Old lady is hardcore. Bedtime for me. Good night, Johnny. Have a good one. I used to know a guy. He was my friend's grandfather, and they used to call him Papaw. And his wife was Granny. Their grandmother. Granny and Papaw. And Papa was about 85 years old. And he used to chain smoke. And he was old as could be and just grumpy all the time, Yeah, don't forget to leave the thumbs up, please. Grouchy as hell. And I just remember him smoking like a chimney. But he was always nice to the kids. He was always good to the kids. Might yell at us, but he was good to us most of the time. And I saw a picture of him from this is when I was young. It was in the 70s. and he showed some pictures of when he was a young man in the 1920s. What a badass. And now he was like 85 or whatever he was. And, you know, he was near the end. And his grandsons would be like, Papa, you don't need to smoke. You don't need to drink that whiskey. Shut up. I'm an old man. Let me do what I want to do. You know, he just was like set on living his life the way he wanted to live it, you know. He figured the end is near. Fuck it, I might as well have that. I might as well have that last, what could be the last cigarette or the last drink, you know. Anyway, yeah, for sure, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you to everybody who joined me today. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the contributions. I appreciate that as well, as always. And good times ahead. Cool stuff to come. Should be quite the journey. And, you know, I'll come up with some stuff in the next week or so. So, I got to go. I got to talk to the wife, the kid, see how they're doing before I hit the sack and make another trip to the gym. So the old man has something to keep himself busy. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later, all right? So until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo jerkan mai. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow night or maybe Monday morning. I don't know. We'll see. Usually it's tomorrow night, but who knows?